My sister tried to sabotage my college applications, and now she wants my help. This happened last year, but it's the kind of thing that sticks in your mind, especially when you're standing at the edge of one chapter of your life and staring into the next. I'm 18 now, and I'll be leaving for college soon, something I've been working toward for as long as I can remember. But this story isn't really about me getting into college. It's about how close I came to losing that dream and who almost took it from me. I've always been the academic kid in my family. Not because I was naturally gifted at everything, but because I put in the hours. I was the one who stayed up past midnight rewriting essays, the one who signed up for volunteer work every summer, the one juggling clubs, test prep, and still trying to keep my grades spotless. My parents always praised me for it, but it wasn't about their approval. For me, it was about building a future I could be proud of. I wanted to go to a good school, maybe even one of those schools people raise their eyebrows at when you tell them. My sister, Anna, 20F, is 2 years older. When we were kids, we were inseparable. We used to have movie marathons where we'd build pillow forts or stay up whispering secrets until we both passed out. She was my best friend for a long time. But somewhere around the time she went to college, things started to change. She only lasted 1 semester before dropping out. She moved back home and started working random part-time jobs. At first, I thought she was just regrouping, trying to figure out her path. But as time went on, I noticed the bitterness creeping in. It wasn't always obvious, but it was there, snide little comments, digs dressed up as jokes. Look, the golden child got another A. Or, guess mom and dad are gonna hang that essay on the fridge too. She'd roll her eyes every time my parents congratulated me, like my hard work was some personal attack on her. I tried to ignore it. I told myself she was just frustrated, maybe even a little jealous, and it would blow over. I didn't want to fight with her. I wanted my sister back. Then came application season. I'd been preparing for months, maybe years if I'm being honest. Draft after draft of essays, carefully built activity lists, making sure everything was as polished as it could be. The Common App essay was the centerpiece, the one that mattered most. I must have rewritten it a dozen times, shaping it into something I felt truly represented me. One night, I sat down at our family's shared desktop, rookie mistake, I know, and opened up my essay. Instantly, my heart sank. Something was wrong. The words didn't sound like me. My carefully written essay had been turned into a bizarre, rambling rant. It was full of typos, run-on sentences, even angry tangents about being pressured into school and cracking under expectations. It was almost like someone had taken all the worst stereotypes about an overworked student and vomited them onto the page. I thought I'd opened the wrong file at first. My pulse was racing as I checked the file name. It was mine. Then I checked the file history. And there it was, in black and white, my sister's username. Logged in the night before. My stomach dropped. I confronted her right away, hands shaking, voice louder than I expected. Why would you do this? I demanded. She didn't even flinch. She leaned back, smirked, and said, "Guess you're not so perfect after all." I saw red. I completely lost it. Years of biting my tongue boiled over. We screamed at each other, voices echoing through the house. She finally snapped and shouted that she was sick of living in my shadow and tired of being ignored. It hit me then, this wasn't just about my essay. She resented me, maybe had for a long time, and this was her way of trying to even the score. I told my parents everything, still shaking with anger. To their credit, they were shocked. But after the initial reaction, they didn't really do anything. They told her she needed to work on herself and find her path, but there were no consequences. No grounding, no punishment. And worst of all, no apology from her. She just shut herself in her room and acted like the whole thing would blow over. If I hadn't backed up my essay on a flash drive, my entire future could have been derailed. Thankfully I did. I submitted my applications, got into 3 of my top schools, and I'll be leaving for one of them in the fall. I thought I had closed the door on that chapter, even if it left a sour taste in my mouth. But last week the whole thing came crashing back. She walked into my room with her laptop and asked if I could help her write a resume and cover letter for a job she wanted. No apology, no acknowledgement of what she had done. Just business as usual, like none of it mattered. Like she hadn't almost sabotaged my future. I told her no. I told her I couldn't trust her after what she did and that she had burned that bridge. She looked stunned, like she truly hadn't expected me to refuse. Maybe she thought I'd always be there, no matter what. My parents later told me I was being petty and holding a grudge. They said she was just going through a hard time and I should be the bigger person. But here's the thing. They weren't the ones staring at that sabotaged essay, feeling my heart stop in my chest. They weren't the ones who almost had years of work stolen from them out of spite. What she did wasn't a joke. It wasn't a mistake. It was deliberate. She didn't just mess with a file. She tried to destroy something I had poured my entire high school life into. I'm not trying to ruin her. I'm not going to hold her back from opportunities. But I'm also not going to be her safety net. If she wants my help, the bare minimum is admitting what she did and apologizing. Until then, I'm focusing on myself, my future, and what I've earned. Because here's the truth, trust isn't automatic. And once it's broken, it's not something you can just demand back.